In the cold, silent corridors of a derelict spaceship, every flicker of light casts a threatening shadow, and every echoing clang heralds an unspeakable horror lurking just around the corner. The only way to survive? Dismember everything. Welcome to Dead Space. First launched in 2008 and developed by Visceral Games, Dead Space wasn't just another survival horror title. It was a masterclass in atmospheric tension and a heartfelt homage to some of the genre's greatest works. Drawing heavy inspiration from sci-fi horror classics like Event Horizon, Alien, and John Carpenter's The Thing, it seamlessly blended atmospheric dread with grotesque body horror, creating an experience that was both haunting and exhilarating. Gameplay-wise, it took cues from Resident Evil 4, adopting its over-the-shoulder perspective and intense, resource-focused combat. The original Dead Space stood out, not just for its terrifying ambience, but also for its innovative mechanics, such as strategic dismemberment, which added a new layer of depth to the survival horror formula. Fast forward to 2023, and the Dead Space remake, developed by Motive Studio, builds upon that iconic foundation with modern technology. This isn't a simple remaster, or an insulting AI upscale port like we've regrettably seen with the Grand Theft Auto trilogy and the Star Wars Battlefront remasters. This is a fully fledged, reimagined from the ground up, utilizing DICE's powerful Frostbite engine. With stunning new visuals, modernized mechanics, and expanded lore, the remake isn't just about recreating the past, it's about redefining it for a new generation of horror enthusiasts. But in an era saturated with remakes, does this star shine bright enough to stand out? Or has the legacy of Dead Space finally faded away into the empty vastness of space? Let's delve in and find out. The year is 2508. Humanity has reached the stars, harnessing the capability to harvest entire planets for resources, using colossal starships known as planet crackers. You step into the boots of Isaac Clarke, an unassuming engineer on a mission to find his missing girlfriend, Nicole Brennan, aboard the USG Ishimura, the most famous of these planet crackers. Accompanied by Chief Security Officer Zach Hammond, Computer Specialist Kendra Daniels, and the rest of the USG Kelly and crew, what starts as a routine repair assignment quickly descends into a living nightmare. The ship is eerily silent, distress signals have gone unanswered, and the darkness seems to hide more than just faulty wiring. One of the significant improvements in the remake is the introduction and the expansion of side characters like Haley Johnston, Aiden Chen, Jacob Temple, and Elizabeth Cross, crawling with grotesque, undead horrors known as necromorphs, twisted amalgamation of the ship's unfortunate crew. These macabre nightmares take on various forms, each more terrifying than the last, from the scythe-armed slashers to the hulking beasts known as brutes. The necromorphs are designed to unsettle and challenge you at every turn. Visual cues play a significant role in combat, with enemies showing damage in real time, becoming more aggressive as you attempt to neutralize them. Their movements become more erratic, and their attacks more desperate. The visual deterioration of enemies adds urgency to combat, pushing you to finish them off before they close the gap on you. In its purest form of irony, Dead Space has always been about the exhausting claustrophobia, and the remake captures this flawlessly. Its armor is a marvel to behold as well. Watching frost accumulate on his suit in the cold vacuum of space, and then slowly thaw as you re-enter the ship, is a little detail that adds immense depth to the immersion. Improved lighting and shadow effects heighten the already oppressive atmosphere, making every flicker and shadow play tricks on your mind. The environmental storytelling is top-notch. Graffiti scrawled in blood, flickering holograms of past events, and the sheer scale of the ship's industrial architecture all contribute to a feeling of insignificance and vulnerability. But where the game truly shines is in its audio design. The chilling ambient of groaning metal, distant screaming, and unsettling whispers keep you perpetually on edge. The revamped sound design complements the original's iconic spine-chilling atmosphere, enhancing it tenfold. The use of 3D spatial audio is masterfully executed. You'll find yourself constantly swiveling the camera or physically turning your head, convinced that something is skulking behind you. Is that just the ship settling? Or is that a necromorph preparing to pounce? You're truly doing yourself a disservice if you're not experiencing this game with a quality pair of headphones. The immersion is unparalleled, and the sound design plays a crucial role in that. Speaking of audio, one of the most significant changes in the remake is that Isaac finally has a voice. Brilliantly portrayed by Gunnar Wright, who also voiced him in the original sequels. This addition adds a whole new dimension to the character and the game. Isaac is no longer a voiceless, near-faceless self-insert. He's a fully realized character with emotions, fears, and a palpable determination. His interactions with the other characters feel more authentic, and his vocal reactions to the horrors around him makes the experience even more immersive. Isaac's voice actor is nothing short of amazing, delivering a performance that elevates the narrative and connects you deeply to his harrowing journey. The remake retains the core mechanics of the original, but with controls that feel tighter and much more responsive, making combat that much more satisfying, and dare I say, visceral. The iconic plasma cutter is as enjoyable as ever to use, with improved weapon feedback and visual effects that make every shot impactful and sickeningly satisfying. Strategic dismemberment remains key to survival, forcing players to carefully target limbs rather than spraying bullets indiscriminately. This mechanic is the soul of Dead Space's combat, and adds a layer of strategy that sets it apart from other shooters. Isaac isn't a soldier. He's not Chris Redfield, nor is he the Master Chief. He's an engineer who uses his genius and wit to turn mundane mining and repairing tools into weapons of destruction. Each weapon feels unique and serves a purpose, encouraging players to experiment and find the best tools for each gruesome job, giving you access to weapons like the Ripper, which uses circular saw blades that use anti-gravity to cut through what it comes into contact with. The weapons of Dead Space are some of my favorite from any game. They're all interesting and unique in their own way. The Zero-G sections have been completely overhauled, borrowing improvements from Dead Space 2 and further refining them. Movement in zero gravity is now more intuitive and liberating, allowing for full 360 navigation. One of the most appreciated changes is the array of quality of life improvements. In the original game, tutorials would often halt your progress, stopping Isaac dead in his tracks to explain new mechanics. While informative, these horrible, annoying interruptions break the immersion and tension. The remake thankfully fixed this, so no longer do you stop dead in your tracks to make absolutely sure you read this very basic tutorial, allowing you to learn and adapt on the fly rather than pulling you out of the experience. This seamless integration keeps the pacing tight and tension unbroken. The upgrade system has also seen a significant overhaul. In the original, you spend precious nodes to fill slots in your equipment upgrades, which often felt like a waste. Now every node you invest yields tangible benefits, making you feel constantly empowered and better equipped to face the escalating challenges ahead. This change ensures that you're always progressing and that every resource spent feels worthwhile. You can now backtrack through explored areas, which are often repopulated with previously disposed enemies, keeping you on your toes. The design choice adds a Metroidvania-like element to the game, rewarding players who revisit old areas with new items, lore, and challenges. The addition of side missions and expanded story elements breathes fresh life into the narrative, providing more context for secondary characters and delving deeper into Isaac's backstory. These side quests are not mere fetch missions. They offer substantial content that enriches the overall story. I'm sorry for the vagueness, but I truly do think that these side missions add so much to the game, and I encourage anyone that plays this game to complete the side missions. The game also features a new intensity director system that adjusts enemy spawns and environmental effects based on your playstyle and current situation. This means that each playthrough can feel unique, as the game dynamically changes to keep you guessing. The system can throw unexpected enemy encounters, triggering unsettling audio cues or even induce hallucinations. all designed to keep tension high. It's a mechanic reminiscent of the AI director in games like Left 4 Dead, and it adds significant replay value. At a solid 12 to 15 hour playtime for the main story, Dead Space offers a substantial experience without overstaying its welcome. For those who can't get enough, the extra content adds about 12 more hours of gameplay. New Game Plus offers more challenges including tougher difficulties, a secret ending, and extra collectibles. Fans of the original will enjoy spotting the new subtle changes and additions, while newcomers have plenty of content to sink their teeth into. New Game Plus also introduces new suits and weapon upgrades, allowing you to change up your combat and exploration strategies, further adding to the replay value. The remake does an exceptional job of honoring the original, while implementing modern improvements. It stands out amongst recent remakes by preserving what made the original so special: tense, atmospheric horror, while upgrading it with new technology and fresh gameplay elements. Compared to the other survival horror remakes, Dead Space raises the bar. While Resident Evil 2 set a high standard for modernizing a classic, Dead Space takes it up a notch by enhancing the horror experience with meaningful additions that makes the gameplay even better. It's nostalgic for longtime fans, but also highly accessible for newcomers experiencing Isaac Clarke's nightmare for the first time. The Dead Space remake is a phenomenal revival of a survival horror classic, breathing new life into a game that helped shape the genre. The upgraded graphics, sound design, and gameplay mechanics make it feel both fresh and familiar, staying true to the original's soul while enhancing every aspect. The quality of life changes, tighter controls, the improved upgrade system makes the experience smoother and much more engaging. Whether you're a longtime fan or new to the series, this is a must-play experience that sets a new standard for the remakes overall. I can't recommend it highly enough. So, what do you think? Does this remake live up to the original's high expectations, or is it merely riding the wave of nostalgia? Have the enhancements and new features elevated the game beyond its predecessor? Or do you miss the elements from the original, such as Isaac being a silent protagonist? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below.